Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's session on DSpace. My name is Tobile Mteto. I'm the Acting Librarian for Scholarly Communication and Postgraduate Support. Thank you for joining us. We will now begin today's session. Okay. DSpace is an open source digital repository platform used by universities, research institutions, libraries to store, manage, preserve, and share digital content such as research articles, theses and dissertations, conference papers, datasets, institutional publications. It is widely used as a repository system because it helps with preservations in institutions and help them showcase their scholarly outputs. The benefits of using DSpace is that it enables researchers and librarians to upload and organize content. It makes it easier to find research outputs, which is grouped by faculties, departments, or research areas. It also promotes the discoverability of work through search engines and databases. It promotes digital preservations and helps increase visibility and accessibility of research outputs. Why universities use DSpace? To promote long-term preservation of institutional knowledge. It supports open access publishing. It helps meet funder and compliance requirements and promotes global access to research outputs. So how is this DSpace organized? So DSpace, or rather the DSpace interface, is organized into communities. You will see when I take you through the DSpace repository where we have communities. This will be your faculties or school. We also have collections, which is your subgroups within communities. It is often based on departments or content types. We also have items such as your thesis articles or datasets, also known as collections. We will now head over to the live demonstration of how to use DSpace. I'm just going to quickly navigate to the Rhodes Library webpage. Once I'm on the library webpage, what you will need to do when you're trying to locate the repository, you will need to scroll down to under Research and then find Rhodes University Digital Commons. Then you will click on the link and then you should be able to access the repository. Earlier on, when I was presenting, I spoke about communities and collections. So once you get to DSpace, what you will need to do is you can either select on the top navigation pane on communities and collections to see the different faculties, and the different faculties on DSpace are listed under communities. Alternatively, you can scroll down on the interface, on the DSpace interface, and you should be able to see the different communities. I'm just gonna use the top option as it provides me with a list of all the communities at a glance. So once you get here, you can choose the community of your choice, being the faculty that you're under. For example, I'm gonna select the commerce faculty, which is our community. Under the commerce faculty, we have the different departments. Those are our sub-communities. Under the different sub-communities, which is our departments, we have different collections. Okay, so I'm just gonna select here so that you're able to see more about the Faculty of Commerce. Once I select or click on the Faculty of Commerce link, it takes me to this interface where I'm able to read more on the faculty. All right, and then when you navigate to the bottom of the page, you have browse. When you have browse options, you have sub-communities and collection. So this allows you to refine or search or see more under the Faculty of Commerce. So I'm just gonna navigate to sub-communities and collections. When I click on sub-communities and collection under the Faculty of Commerce, when I scrolled at the bottom, I'm able to see the different departments under the Faculty of Commerce. Okay, and then depending on my preferred department, I can select a department of my choice. If I'm under the Department of Management, I will select Department of Management. Then I'll be able to see more about the Department of Management. We also have subcommittees and collection under the Department of Management. So if I had to, under browse, select sub-communities and collections, it's gonna take me to viewing more about the collections within the Department of Management. So the interface, the setup is the same for the different faculties. For examples, you will have articles, book chapters, conference papers, doctorate degrees, master's degrees, and so forth. You might find that there's more information or collections under other departments. So for example, if I want, maybe I'm searching for a master's degree or a master's degree in my department, which is management, I will click on master's degrees to refine my search. But as you can see, you're still able to, under the Department of Management, to search collections by issue date. If you know the date of maybe the master's thesis that you're trying to find, you can insert the date and the month, and you can browse. You can also browse by author. When you browse by author, if you know the name of the author, you can simply type it on the search. Otherwise, you can scroll down to the bottom of the navigation pane, and you should be able to see different authors, both academic staff as well as students that have submitted the master's thesis within the Department of Management. So here you will be able to see the different lecturers and then the students. And you can see more here at the bottom. It's the same. Let's say you don't know the author, but you know the title of the thesis that you're looking for. You can browse by title. And then you can type the title of the thesis here. For example, if I have my title is on an evaluation of appreciative inquiry as an alternate organization development approach, I can browse by that, and then it will be able to pull out the exact search for me. You can also browse by subject. So depending on your, what you call it, your research area or your topic, it allows you to search for your preferred topic. For example, if my current master's thesis or the thesis that I'm looking for was around the topic economics or economic management, for example, then I can browse. Then I should be able to find, if there's nothing on economic management, it will bring out no items to show. All right, I'm just going to navigate backwards. And then you can also search by subcategory if you want. This is when maybe the research maybe touches on other topics across other disciplines. For example, if your topic also touches on topics from the social sciences or the business and economics, maybe on human geography and economic geography or just economics, then you can expand to view more on that master's. Okay, colleagues, I'm just going to navigate back to the Department of Management. Importantly, just to make your search easier to navigate, you can also use your filters. Here you have filter, you can filter by author. So the different people over the years that have submitted their master's dissertations. You can also filter by subject here, or the date, if maybe you know that the thesis that was published, that you're looking for, was published between 2010 and 2019, you can refine your search to just pulling out results between 2010 and 2019. Just want to close that quickly. Yes, I spoke about the dates that you can refine by date. Okay, colleagues, now I'm just gonna provide an example of maybe what to do when you find when you're trying to find an article. I'm gonna provide a practical example. For example, let's say I wanna search by author, right, within the Department of Management, and then maybe Trevor from the Department of Management. It's gonna bring out this like all the search results, but I can refine it by browsing by collections. So I'm just going to say master's thesis by author Trevor. And then if I know that the title, I can refine by title or by subject. I'm just going to maybe say by title. And then it's going to pull out all the results. And then I can be able to scroll down and view the different theses. So that's the nice part. You're able to view the different theses and you can compare and see what has been done within the university based on your research focus or your research interest area. For example, if maybe let's say we choose this master's thesis, an analysis of employee retention, a study of selected local municipalities in Sarah Baartman District Municipality. You can select on it. Once you select on that title, you should be able to read the abstract of that master's thesis, and then you can see all the keywords. So when you want to access the actual document, you just select on the files, and then it should be able to allow you to download the master's thesis, and then you'll be able to view works that has been done in your department based on your research interest, or maybe you want to compare, or maybe you want to get a feel of what other in terms of theoretical frameworks or methodology that were used in relation to your topics. And also maybe if you just want to see the structure of maybe what does the structure of the thesis in your department looks like, it helps you to see that how you can structure your own what you call it, master's thesis or your PhD. So you can just go through the document and you should be able to see more about that master's thesis. I'm just going to navigate back to the Department of Management, and then I'm going to provide another example. Let's say you want information or a master's thesis that was published between the year 2000 to 2009. It will pull out all the master's theses that were published between the year 2000 to 2009 in the Department of Management. Then you can be able to see and download the one that's applicable to you. You're also able to refine by maybe lecturer. If you know the author, you can refine by the author, and then it will just bring results based on that author, just to make your navigation easier. All right, colleagues, I'm going to scroll back to communities and collections again. And then I'm just going to show you, open up another faculty. For example, the Faculty of Humanities, sub-communities and collections, which will allow you to view the different departments under that faculty. Then you can choose the faculty of your choice. If it's not here, then you can navigate to the other pages, and then maybe you're from the Department of Psychology, then you should be able to view information from the Department of Psychology. And then once you land on the Department of Psychology page, you would come to sub-communities and collections, and then maybe you can select doctoral degrees from that department. And it's the same. If you know the author, you can refine by author, and then you can just see which authors have published within the department. And you should be able to see more about their publications. Or if maybe your supervisor, you want to see the structure of your supervisors, other students, or their structure, and compare it just to get a feel of what is expected, then you can do that. Like I said, that the interface is more or less the same for all the different collections. So you can navigate your way. So currently the repository is still being updated. You will see that more information over time will come in terms of like, for example, if you come to sub-communities and collections, articles in the psychology department, you might find that there aren't research results because we're still working on updating the repository. But other than that, the master's and PhD thesis, they are accessible for your use, and you can utilize and navigate our repository DSpace. It's very beneficial for students to be familiar with the repository because it assists you with also to gain the structure and the academic language that is used within your field, and to see works that have been done in the past and for you to improve. So yeah, this is our institutional repository. Important to note is that with the repository, is that with master's and PhD students, you don't upload your thesis. The library does that on your behalf once our catalogers receive a library copy of your work. But academic staff, the option is not accessible in the moment, but over time, they would be able to log in with a single sign-on, and they would be able to do, they'll be able to upload into the repository. But we're still currently working on this option as it is not accessible or visible to to students and some staff members. Colleagues, that is just a basic introduction to our repository, which is DSpace. Important to note is that with repositories, right, such as DSpace, there are other repositories that you can also consult if you want more information in terms of like trying to access journal articles that are relevant to your field. But if you're an academic and you have a profile, a DSpace profile, you can always link it to your ORCID profile for visibility and discoverability of your work. Okay, I'm just going to navigate back to my PowerPoint slide. And that was just a basic introduction of how to utilize and navigate DSpace as our digital repository. If you have more questions or if you struggle to access any materials on the repository, as I've said that it's still currently being updated, you can email myself or my line manager, Samuel Smango, and we should be able to assist with your queries. Should you have any further question from today's presentation, you can ask me now during the session. Otherwise, thank you for joining. That is just a basic introduction of the DSpace interface on how to access our e-resources within the institution. So before you leave, I'm going to kindly ask you to fill in our summative assessment. You can either scan the QR code, which I will share shortly, or I'm going to paste the link to the assessment on the chat, and you should be able to access the survey. Okay, let me check the chat quickly. There's a question on tell me, can DSpace check duplicates? Can you please elaborate duplicate in terms of uploads or in terms of thesis? Can you please elaborate on that? But on my understanding, both, okay. So on my understanding, with the current repository DSpace, what usually happens is, for example, let's say as an academic, you upload your work onto the repository, right? It will allow you to upload, but the administrator will still have to go through your application or upload to verify the information. So I think that can help with like removing duplicates. Yes. But as it stands, yeah, because you're not able to upload on your side, you'd have to contact our team for assistance. And I think they can be able to check for duplicate items. Yes. So colleagues, while you wait, we also have the same way we have a repository for thesis and dissertation conference, publication and articles. We also have a data repository, which is also accessible on our what you call it, library website. So that one is for your data sets. Let's say after maybe for funding purposes, my colleague did a presentation earlier on it on one of our postgrad training session on research data management, where they touched on how to utilize the repository. So with the, maybe I can just quickly demonstrate on the library website here, you will see that we have different repositories. So that's the research data repository. So when you submit maybe your data sets, right? If your funder wants you to upload your data set for open access onto a system, which is the Figshare, and we use the Rhodes Digital Common, which is our data repository for your data to be accessible, then you can contact us. We will assist you on how and take you through the steps on how to upload your data sets on the repository, which is the data repository. In contrast to DSpace, which allows you to view works that has been published within the institution. Yes. So I don't know if you have further questions, colleagues. If there aren't any other questions, thank you so much for joining today's session on DSpace. We will upload all the training sessions that we've had. We have unfortunately come to the end of all our training sessions, but they will be made accessible on the Rhodes University Library YouTube page. So if you missed out on any of the sessions, they will be made available, and once all the sessions have been uploaded, I will send communication, as well as you can email us if you want to find out more, or if you want more information on any of the sessions that you've missed. Thank you, colleagues.